Hello everyone. Today I'll show you the difficulties I encountered when replacing a faucet. First, I turn off the water supply. Then, I use an adjustable wrench to unscrew the old faucet, as it's beyond repair. The main reason is that the rubber seal from the spout has worn a groove into the body. Also, finding a suitable switch is difficult, as they're different on each faucet. These are good switches. The cold water strainer is also clogged, but that's not the problem. The eccentrics are screwed in at different depths. To figure out why there's no water, you need to unscrew the eccentrics and inspect the pipes. That's usually where the problem lies. The cold water pipe is clogged with scale and debris. You also need to look into the hot water pipe. Unfortunately, the eccentric can only be unscrewed together with the coupling, which is located behind a tile in the wall in a narrow space, walled in. And now I'm unscrewing it. This coupling will cause problems when tightening it. The cement around the pipe must be removed without breaking the tiles too much, so that when installing the reflectors, no chips in the tiles are visible from underneath. I picked out and removed the scale in the pipe. I turn on the tap to let the water pressure wash away the remaining scale in the pipe. And finally, the water runs clear. It took a lot of effort to unscrew the eccentric from the clamp. I never understood why mechanics tighten it so much. The owner brought a spare clutch. It might come in handy, but in the end it wasn't needed. The coupling won't tighten. Cement residue around it prevents it from being screwed in. Additionally, they beat the cement in a circle so they can not only tighten the coupling, but also screw the flax onto the pipe located deep in the wall. And you'll still have to reach there with your fingers to screw the flax onto it. According to the owner, 3 different plumbers had been there before me, but they still hadn't fixed the problem. The cold water still wouldn't come out, and the hot water was barely flowing. I have no doubt in their professionalism. I think they knew what the problem was, but they didn't want to take on the job. After all, I'd spent 2 hours fiddling with that faucet myself, and those plumbers had a lot of work to do. They could have earned a lot more money elsewhere during that time. When I went to work on this job, I assumed it would be a standard plumbing job. I'd remove the old faucet and install a new one in half an hour. As usual, that's what happens, but it turned out to be more complicated. Before final assembly, I checked the pipe connection to the eccentrics for a tight seal and for any leaks from the coupling. I checked the distance between the eccentrics to ensure the nuts tighten easily and that the faucet is level. The left eccentric is installed correctly, but the right one is slightly tilted to the left. This cannot be corrected because the pipe was initially installed incorrectly. It was sealed crookedly with cement during installation. There is also a slight downward slope vertically, but this won't be noticeable on the faucet. I turned on the water at the tap and carefully examined it for drops of water. So far, everything is fine and dry. I took the shower head holder out of the packaging and saw that the nut and holder were one piece. It's like the one on the left, but ideally it should be like the one on the right. The nut should be independent of the shower head holder. I unscrewed the faucet again to install the shower head holder. I look to see if there is a rubber gasket in the hose. It is there. It is transparent. Everything is fine. I open the water supply and check with my finger to see if there are any drops of water leaking out. After making sure everything is in order, I check the length of the gooseneck for ease of use. Cold and hot water flows well, which was not the case before. To prevent water from dripping from the shower head, turn the handle halfway after use. This will allow the water in the hose to drain through the spout. Then, turn the handle all the way to the spout. The water will drain completely from the hose in less than a minute. And that's it. Your faucet repair is complete. And then I'll get to work on the chandelier. The new one needs to be assembled. Then I'll remove the old one and install this one. I tighten the nuts all the way so that the 4 lead petals don't hang loose. I'm checking to see if there's any current when the switch is off, and there is. Although the phase is correct, meaning the current should flow to the switch, and from there to the chandelier. I'll keep this in mind when replacing the chandelier to avoid getting electrocuted. So, that concludes my work. Thanks for watching. Subscribe and give me a like. Goodbye.